Hello everyone. Today I am doing a raw comic video. No graded stuff, but I got some nice early detectives and uh, kind of my best book to date. This particular book has been on my radar for a little while. It is the first appearance of Uncle Ben and Aunt May, although it's not actually billed as such if you get a graded book. I found this on eBay, and also as an aside, before I get into this, I can see that there's some unsteadiness in the shooting today. I do not have my phone anchored to a stick or anything. I kind of have a gooseneck that's wrapped around my neck, so I can use both hands and still move around with the camera. So there's going to be some unsteadiness, but hopefully we'll get through it together. So this is Strange Tales number 97, put out by Marvel, and has several different stories in it, all strange tales. This is considered a classic cover. Uh, exactly why, I'm not sure, but hey, if they want to call it a classic cover, it's okay with me. This book, when I bought it on eBay, I could tell that it wasn't all that it was said to be. The seller, who we had some friendly emails, so I'm not going to bag the seller on this, but he had it estimated at a fine, very fine, which would put it about a 7. I could see right away that with the occasional chips here and here, and there's some obvious cover creasing, and I'm going to try to move this around to find a good angle. I think with the highlights from the light above, you can see them better. There's some definite cover creasing. There's some intersecting cover creasing marks here, here. But a lot of the creases are non-color break, which would mean that they would press out by a pressing service. There's a couple little spine nicks at the top and the bottom, all more or less acceptable for a book of this age. This is like 1960. This is 1962. June of 1962. So there are several stories in here, and the one that interests people most is this one right here. It's called Goodbye to Linda Brown. But as you can see, it is written by Stan Lee, and it is art by Steve Ditko. A lot of these early Marvels are. And what you have to also understand is that right here in these two panels, you can see that this girl in the wheelchair refers to the old man as Uncle Ben and refers to the older woman as Aunt May. And they look surprisingly like Uncle Ben and Aunt May from the Spider-Man universe. And their first appearance would be in Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first Spider-Man. Well, when this book is graded, and you can find it on eBay all the time, it's much more expensive than what I paid for it, what I paid for this. you will see that the grader's notes, or the attributions, or whatever they want to call them, on the grading label will show that the people in this particular story, even though they're called by the same name, the grader's notes will say that these are the prototypes for Aunt May and Uncle Ben, not the actual first appearance, because they have in this case, they have a different person living with them. This girl is has mobility issues. She's in a wheelchair, and at some point she goes into the sea and becomes a mermaid, which is fine, but you got to call it the way it is. If it's Uncle Ben and Aunt May, it's Uncle Ben and Aunt May. So, not my earliest book, but an important book in the Spider universe. I will have it pressed, and I also expect to have it. I'm not going to get it graded, but I think it would. I think a press would work wonders with that book. It doesn't need to be flattened out. It does need to get the creases out of the covers, the front and the back. So anyway, the next one I have, and these are all recent pickups. There's a CGC is one of the top grading companies, probably the top, depending on who you talk to. But they have a message board, and on that message board they have a for sale area, and all the people there are quality people. So when you buy books from them, you're buying good books from responsible people at reasonable prices. And so they will pop up Batmans and what have you. And you can often get them at good prices. And anytime you can get a nice 10-cent detective, 10-cent Batman, or almost any 10-cent book, it's worth taking a look at. And I do have a pretty decent Batman and detective collection, along with my Spideys. And I love the early Batman books. I like the goofy alien type stuff that they had going on before they got really serious. And although I like the serious books too, but I love Robin usually just kind of stands around on the cover, and you can see all these different covers. You got Robin standing around looking. Granted, he's being held by these invisible robots, but it's the same type of thing. Here, the same type of thing. Here, the same type of thing. At that point, that's kind of what Robin was doing. He was fighting, but on the covers, most of the time, he's standing around looking at things happening with that same look on his face. But I love they always have robots and aliens. So I got a nice early 10-cent Batman Detective Comics. And just for the sake of time and whatnot, I'm not going to take the other ones out of the plastics. I have the Detective 306. This one's $279, by the way. So it's a nice under 300 10-center. This is good because it would all, if I was to get any of these graded on the attributions on the label, it would show a robot cover. It would show robot cover. That's one of the things that they note oftentimes on the labels. This one is a Clayface, a nice early Clayface appearance cover, and the Clayface Batman. Still Robin, shocked, standing off to the sidelines. This I like. This cover I like. I like the colors on the cover. There's a lot of technology in Batman that, of course, doesn't happen in real life, but I love the way they're able to go off into space, and they have rocket-powered whatever. This is a flying jail cell, a flying electrified jail cell. Batman has fallen victim to one of the underworld treasure hunt traps. Kind of grabs you right off the top. You want to read it. You want to know what's going on in there. And so I do read my books, and I will be checking that one out as well. This is another Detective 331 with some nice coloring. The pink kind of punches you in the head as you take a look at it. It's got the elongated man on the cover, which is nice. Of course, Robin is, I don't know what Robin's doing. But good art, good colors, and this one's in pretty nice shape. Not super high grade, but nice. Here is a Detective 378. As they start getting higher in numbers, they're going to start becoming a little more serious. This is still a 12 center, but once they start getting into they start getting out of the alien type stuff and into more story type stuff. Neil Adams, when he did take over, Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil were kind of the catalyst for having Batman become more serious. And so here it almost gives you an older Robin feel, and they got a picture of Robin taking a shot at Batman. I haven't read this book yet, but again, it kind of draws you in. You want to know what's going on with Batman and Robin here. So these are my recent early detective pickups, along with my Strange Tales number 97. Again, somewhat apologies for the camera shake, but I was trying to be able to move the books and the cameras, move the books near the camera. So I hope you like this short video. Not silver, but I will be getting into more silver sooner or later once my overtime picks up. I thank you for watching, and have a good day.